So, in my example, right? In my example, I think that the men with a spiritual whip, physical a little bit too, because the women's supposed to be sitting pretty and no harm or pain. The beautiful black woman, no harm or pain to her. Christ died for her. We should give our lives for them too. They ain't supposed to suffer like that. What they are supposed to do is submit and respect the authority that's in their life, right? So I think spiritually, a little bit physical too. Take the shirts off. For the most part, spiritual though. I don't condone no pain and no whipping and nothing like that. Like no slave. Don't get it twisted. But Christ suffered. So let me explain this, because but I don't really give a fuck, because everybody gonna have something to say. But in the spirit, right? The authority and the suffering, what the man should do. The man. And he suffers the pain in a relationship like that, physically, according to biblical narrative. She don't. She shouldn't have to. She gave herself. So in this example, the spiritual example, and if there's need to be some war-making thing that's done, well, the person has to suffer, it should be the man, because he died and gave himself for her. In the family order. So take the shirts off of the boys and the husbands, and Christ is the whip. Christ is the whip and the slave master. Right. Black Jesus though. Black Jesus, that's a twist to it, right? He a Negro. And you know what he does? Now let's take Jesus out of the picture. I think you understand what I'm saying. We're gonna take Jesus out. So get what? There's a spiritual authority angel, and I'm not gonna tell you if he's good or evil, but get what he's doing. The shirts off of the backs of the men, the husbands, the fathers, the cousins, the men in the earth, the authority figures. If you ain't no authority figure, I ain't talking to you as a man. If you don't consider you, I ain't talking to you, right? But the authority figure, you take the shirts off their back, and you take the whip, right? And you pow, the whip of discipline, the whip of pain if it needs to be suffered, the whip of going through the hard things that a woman shouldn't suffer, right? Pow, the whip of discipline and the role in the family, the whip, or guess what? But the woman is held accountable for. You hit the angel, I'm not gonna tell you whether he good or evil. You know what he do? Pow! Pow! He just start whipping. And get what? I'm number one. I'll go first. Pow! Pow! You know what he doing? You know what the woman is doing? Why that's going on? She sit pretty on her perch, right? The beautiful, voluptuous, sexy, super fine authority, under the authority of her husband, father, role of the man that is in that regard. She's sitting pretty, no pain, and she watched, right? She watched in relation to her father and her husband, and she watched. The whip of discipline for you, the whip of the authority, of responsibility for the daughter, for the mother. He's suffering for her. You know what? And it hurt. You ever seen your father? Female, I'm talking only female. You ever seen your father in anguish? You got a father, you got a dad. You ever seen him in great pain and anguish, physically, or not even physically? You can apply that too. But emotional pain, you ever seen him like that? That's probably not a good feeling for your young daughter, is it? Or your husband, or your brother, or your cousin. Guess what? We suffer at all times during the day. We always suffer. And guess what? You look up and study in the Bible when Christ talks about the fellowship of his suffering. If we suffer with him, we can also be glorified together. Do a Google search and do some study by the Spirit of what it means when it talks about the fellowship of his suffering. The angel, he getting us. I'll go first, right? And get what? She sit there and watch, right? Her brother, her daddy, and she's sitting there, right? And get what? You know what happens after that? You think she has any concern from that, or you think she'll get in order, or she'll listen to him? And then it stops, right? It'll stop. Guess what? When she get in line. You think she'll get in line? But she cared. It promote a relationship and some care for her father and love. And if not, he suffers until she get it right. And then the angel will get it in order, right? Guess what? A choice can be made. A choice can be made. No harm for her, right? Now she can either come off the perch and say, I'm gonna do what's right, God, and all of it to stop for respect in that relationship. And then he's the father and authority, and you listen and submit, lay your head on his heart and chest, right? Your father, your brother, and listen to him. And if you ain't, however, you know what I order, do some research on the order, right? Lay your head on his chest, listen to him, and respect the authority, reverence the authority. And you can either acquiesce to the will of God and how his order and how he did things. You think she care? I'll go first. Again, well, you got some choices to be made. And sometimes I think God will divide it like this. Let's say there is another random man that ain't got nothing to do with your will, the will of the woman's life, out of order and out of order, right? And ain't got nothing to do with that. Another man come along that ain't got nothing to do with that. And he said, and you can either, and he handsome. He can be white, Asian, he can be Indian, Native American, he can be any of those things, Mexican, all of that, right? He can be another black man that ain't got nothing to do with you, I guess. I don't know. Example. I don't want to sound racist because I'm not in my example. I was talking about black culture, but I guess you can lead a racist. All right, so you can lead them out. Lead a black man out. And if you don't consider yourself, you can stay out too. If you're not authority and all, you can stay out. And get what? You can either go with that handsome, suave fella that got personality, all right? And I guess you probably forget all about what's going on with that. Because the devil always offer that, right? You can go along with that handsome, suave brother, and you forget about the husband that God got for you, your father, your brother, authority figure that you can find and submit to, or you forget about all of that, all right? You forget about it. And you won't even remember it, just like totally go out of your mind like you've just been, I don't know, relieved from it, right? You can go with that fella, or you can get off the perch and say, I yield to God, and then all that other stuff. You care about your daddy and the order? There's always a choice. There's always a choice. I think we start with our beautiful black women first, though. Our gorgeous, intelligent black women. Our mothers, our sisters. We start with them. We start with them. I'll go first. I'm gonna tell you whether an angel is good or evil. You go with that suave fella if you want to. Get all about that. I think you can start with that spiritually. I'm gonna pray that occur in there. I'm gonna pray that occur in earth. You know what God said in the Bible in the book of Malachi? You know who I am? I'm Elisha. I'm not Elisha. I'm Elijah. You know what he said, what he was going to do? Let's end the video. You know what God said he was going to do in the last days? You know what? He sent his prophet Elijah. I don't look like Elijah. I don't look like him. He said he's going to send his prophet Elijah in the last days. You know what he came to do? You know what he came to do? Turn the hearts of the fathers to the children and the hearts of the children to the fathers, unless he smite the... You know what I got the authority and the power to do? You know what Elijah has authority and power to do, right? Smite the land with a what? A curse. Elijah can do that. He called fire down. He can, Father said he can smite 176 times worse. 178 times worse than COVID-19. You think that was something? You ain't say, you ain't seen nothing yet. No, the worst. The worst is yet to come. This shit is so fucked. This is really messed up. It's really messed up. No punches. It's past time for that. And if you can't take it, I pray for your heart. Have mercy on us. Most merciful Father. As the prophet Elijah, not Elisha, but Elijah, I have come to turn the hearts of the children to the fathers, and the hearts of the fathers to their children, so I don't have to smite the land with them. But your kingdom come, your will be done, and there is no rock but Allah.